It feels like the entire world is on Matthew Stafford watch, just like us Rams fans. We are discussing the possibility of Matthew Stafford returning sometime soon, as well as some key updates and observations from the Rams joint practice with the New Orleans Saints. We're talking about all that and much more on today's episode of the Rams Digest. I'm your host, Joshua Giron. Remember, if you guys are not subscribed to the channel, do me a favor. Press that subscribe button now, as roughly 64.8% of you guys are watching the videos, but you're still not pressing that subscribe button. All I'm saying is if you're already watching the video, might as well press that subscribe button so you don't miss any daily Rams content here at the Rams Digest. First things first, I do want to get into the major news here. Everyone is really watching in on this. Now we have major media outlets sitting and discussing this topic here when we're talking about the Rams starting quarterback Matthew Stafford and the lack thereof him being there at camp and practices, joint practices with the Saints. He's still not practicing. Obviously, we're kind of expecting this now at this point that he's not going to be there. It's not necessarily every day we wake up and it's a surprise that Matthew Stafford isn't there, but we're seeing here SportsCenter now talking about it. ESPN's Sarah Barshop talking about it as well. Stafford's dealing with an aggravated disc in his back. It's everyone is very concerned about it. We're talking about the issues of a 37-year-old quarterback dealing with these back issues, dealing with something this serious to this nature, to a point where he has not seen a single snap at this point, training camp or at all, right? Since basically June, essentially. We haven't seen, even before that, right? We have not seen Matthew Stafford take a snap. And so we did see him throw the football last Saturday. He obviously threw over 68 pass attempts, something around that range, and said that his back really responded well initially. Then now his back isn't necessarily responding as well. And so, the hope now, and going back to what Sean McVay said a couple weeks ago, right? This is Sean McVay now, but a couple weeks ago, Sean McVay was saying, hey, you know what? We're going to take it a week at a time. And that seems to be kind of back to where they're at, back to a week at a time, week by week, seeing what Matthew Stafford is feeling, how he's feeling with his body, if he feels ready to go, ready to attempt to get out there and practice and throw some footballs around, right? But here's Sean McVay talking about it now. He says hopefully his back responds a little bit better this time around, essentially, right? But we're trying to get our hands around this as well, so I don't really have much more information other than think we're trying some different things that are hopefully going to be in alignment with getting him back out on the field. So again, it's still kind of very questionable. Sean McVay is still kind of hesitant. He doesn't want to guarantee or promise that Matthew Stafford is going to return to the field anytime soon, but he is saying, look, we're trying to get our hands on it. We're trying to get a handle on the situation. It's fluid, right? When we're talking about a player's injury, especially when we're talking about a back injury with a guy who has, of course, had spinal issues in the past, it's a concern. A quarterback gets hit in the back, blindside hit midway through the year. We don't know how that's going to affect him, how he's going to respond to those hits, right? But at the end of the day, all we can do is hope he feels good now, hope he feels good before he starts going out there and trying to play football. Maybe he's going to muscle it through and power through anything. We know Matthew Stafford is that type of player, but ultimately, right now, being safe, making sure he feels good, making sure he's not dealing with that soreness until we get to the regular season. Then if he has to play through some soreness, he plays through some soreness. Overall, generally speaking, though, he threw last weekend. He threw for about 60-plus pass attempts. His back didn't respond well Monday, so come this weekend, I'm assuming, sorry if I hit my mic, I'm assuming come this Saturday, we're going to see him work out, see him throw maybe 60 more pass attempts. Then we're going to see him come Monday, see how he feels again, see how his back responds, and that is kind of where it's at with Matthew Stafford and what the update seems to be like. Again, a week-by-week status, week-by-week situation, but hey, the media is watching now, puts a little more pressure on the Rams, puts a little more pressure on Sean McVay and what he says about Matthew Stafford and how he's looking. Definitely puts some pressure on everybody involved, including Jimmy Garoppolo and those guys, right? As we're seeing some interesting observations when we're talking about practice. We're talking about the joint practice the Rams just held with the New Orleans Saints. Of course, we had to cancel the practice with the Los Angeles Chargers earlier in the week. The Chargers more concerned about injuries, generally speaking. So they said, hey, look, we're going to cancel that joint practice. The Rams lucky enough to be able to practice with the New Orleans Saints as they're in Irvine practicing right now. So they got together, had a joint practice. Here are some key observations from the Rams joint practice with the Saints. Now, shout out to Sue Jackson, senior staff writer for this article, but we're only going to pull about three kind of main conversations to have. Of course, you see the highlights that he has here in the article's title, Offense Overcomes Early Challenges. So they struggled a bit in the beginning. We're able to overcome that later. Got some nice rhythm at the end of practice, or some of the 2-minute drills. Defensive front, looking great, wrecking havoc. That's good. That's what we want to hear. Omar Spates looking good. Nate Landman, probably your two starting linebackers, both looking good, as well as Cam Kitchens, all making some plays. So overall, that's good. Those are good things. We're going to highlight those things, of course. But I just want to pull kind of three main observations that I felt most intrigued by in terms of, personally, what I'm kind of interested in seeing what the Rams do. First, we'll pull this one up here. Quarterback Emmanuel Forbes participates in practice. According to McVay, Forbes got about 50%, of snaps in today's joint practice, which aligned with the plan they had for him. It's good to be able to get him on the practice field a couple of days ago. And looks like he's feeling good, and so for that, we're grateful. So shout out to Sean McVay, obviously, highlighting the fact that Emmanuel Forbes is back. But also, one key note here that's not really included in this article, he looked like he was running with the starters. According to multiple reports, multiple writers for the Rams, a lot of people saying they're seeing him run a lot with the first-team defense. So maybe they're giving Emmanuel Forbes that opportunity to potentially win that spot. Maybe that's someone they want to win that spot for them, the outside cornerback. Or, Keelan Witherspoon maybe still kind of being in and out of practice. That could be affecting things as well. But overall, I think it looks like they're pushing Emmanuel Forbes to at least be that second string for sure. If anyone's out of your starting cornerback room, you're going to have Emmanuel Forbes ready to go there. But also maybe trying to give Emmanuel Forbes those opportunities to see what he can do with the first-team defense. Very intriguing there if he can actually win that battle and become one of your starting cornerbacks. Also, plays of the day. Early in team drills, we're seeing inside linebacker Nate Landman. He used a peanut punch, whatever that means, to force a fumble by Saints running back Alvin Kamara, and Kitchens recovered the loose ball. In red zone drills, cornerback Cam Lampkin had a fourth down pass break up in the end zone on a Spencer Rattler pass that drew lots of cheers from his defensive teammates. So overall, a couple guys here highlighting they're making some big plays on the defense side of the football, but I do want to key in on, of course, my guy Nate Landman, who I've been definitely feeling like it's a sneaky good pickup for the Rams. I told you guys he's going to force fumbles, he's going to make plays, already doing so on a pretty good, not really crazy fumbling running back in terms of Alvin Kamara, big, strong guy. Nate Landman forcing some fumbles from a guy like Alvin Kamara. Very intriguing to see that. Excited to see what Nate Landman can do at the linebacker position this upcoming season. And last but not least, highlighting here Jarquez Hunter's speed as it shines in practice. The rookie running back had a few breakaway runs, the most impressive of which was arguably when he ran up the middle, cut back to the right, then found daylight through the second level of the Saints defense. Now, we are playing the Saints defense. It isn't the best of defenses out there in the world. Sorry, any Saints fans listening. But ultimately, you'd like to see that. You'd like to see Jarquez Hunter showcase that speed, showcase the ability to break out in the open field, to break away from defenses, because that is a very important note to have on the offense, right? If you can kind of mix in that change of pace back, you throw Jarquez Hunter in there, all of a sudden his speed kicks up a notch, and he's kind of finding a hole and just giving you one or two 8 to 10 yard runs every now and then throughout the season. That's definitely something where he can obviously earn himself a role in this Rams offense if he continues to make plays like that. Moving on from that, last but not least, my favorite part of the episode, trivia of the day, where I ask a trivia question. You give your trivia guesses down below in the comment section. Whether you're right or whether you're wrong, we give you a shout out for it on the next episode that I'm on here at the Rams Digest. Last episode trivia of the day was this question here. We asked everyone, which quarterback holds the record for most career rushing touchdowns by a quarterback? We've asked in the past who holds the record for most yards. Yeah, this one is most rushing touchdowns. Which quarterback holds the record for most career rushing touchdowns by a quarterback? Is it A, Cam Newton? Was it A, Steve Young? Was it B, Cam Newton? Was it C, Michael Vick? Or was it D, Lamar Jackson? A few of you guys play along with the trivia of the day. Here are your shout outs. Here we had James saying Cam. We had Rams House saying Steve Young. We had MMs Jr. saying E, all of the above. Let's go with Cam because all he did was run. And then we had Floyd saying Young. So 2 votes for Steve Young, 2 votes for Cam Newton. The correct answer, drum roll please. The correct answer for trivia of the day, number 105. Which quarterback holds the record for most career rushing touchdowns by a quarterback? The correct answer was B, Cam Newton. Fun fact here, as you hear my dogs barking in the background, apologize for that. Fun fact here, Newton had 75 rushing touchdowns, more than many running backs. Very, very good near the goal line, especially toward the end of his career, was a big-time goal line kind of almost like a Jalen Hurts-esque, I guess you could say, type of running back toward the end of his quarterback toward the end of his career, running in for some touchdowns. So shout out to James, special shout out to James for getting correct. Special shout out to MM's Jr., but shout out to everybody who played along with today's trivia of the day. I always appreciate when you guys play along. If you missed out on last episode's trivia of the day and want to play along with today's episode of trivia of the day, play along with this question that we're asking here. Get a shout out just like those folks did. You can get a shout out on the next episode. Which safety holds the NFL record for most career interceptions? 81. Trivia of the day, number 106. Multiple choice options for you all with this question of which safety holds the most the NFL record for most career interceptions, which is 81. Is it A, Emlyn Tunnel? Is it B, Paul Krause? Is it C, Ed Reed? Or is it D, Ronnie Lott? Again, which safety holds the NFL record for most career interceptions? 81. Is it A, Emlyn Tunnel? Is it B, Paul Krause? Is it C, Ed Reed? Or D, Ronnie Lott? Give your guesses down below in the comment section. Whether you get it right or whether you get it wrong, give a shout out for it on the next episode that I'm on here at the Rams Digest. Other than that, that's going to do it for me on today's episode of the Rams Digest. Hope you all enjoyed the video. If you're not subscribed to the channel, please do me a favor, press that subscribe button before you leave. Other than that, that's going to do it for me on today's episode. I'm your host, Joshua Giron, and I'm out.